Hi, I'm Faith from the McAuliffe-Shepard Discovery Center. Thanks for joining me for today's virtual science demonstration. This is part one in a series that I'm doing about atmospheric pressure. So right here, I have a jar that's full of a colorful liquid. This is just tap water and dye. And in the bottom of the jar, you can see that there's, in the lid of the jar, there's holes. Okay, so it's not a solid lid. If I were to turn this upside down, the water would just pour right out of it, right? Because it's not a solid lid. And on the other side of this bottle, I'm going to show you there's a little tap, and if I turn it, here's what happens. Okay, the water comes out of the spout. If I close the tap, water no longer flows out. Okay, so I'm going to put my mostly empty container right here, and I'm going to flip this over upside down on the stand. And remember, there's holes in the lid. So we would expect that if I were to turn it upside down, gravity would pull the water right out of this, right? It would pour right out into the empty container. Let's see what happens. Interesting. So there's nothing underneath. It's still a lid with holes in it, but something is holding the water in here. And that's not a solid stand. It's empty here and there's holes here. So why is our water not flowing out of the bottom? This is where atmospheric pressure comes in. So atmospheric pressure is being exerted on this water from all sides. That's just the force of air pushing against it. There's atmospheric pressure pushing against the bottom of the container, and that's the air all around us, exerting a force upward. And then inside the container, you can see there's about a third of the container is air, and that air is exerting pressure on the liquid from the top. But we can see that if we don't do anything, if we just leave it in there with the holes open and nothing underneath, the atmospheric pressure in this room is high enough and strong enough that it can hold the water up there. It keeps it from flowing. Now let's see what happens if I turn the tap again. Interesting. So what happens is when I turn the tap, now there's more air in here. There's more air pressure being exerted on this water from the top, and it's strong enough that it outweighs the air pressure from the bottom, and gravity allows the liquid to flow right out of there. So we have to equalize the pressure from the top and the bottom for gravity to allow the water to flow. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you'll stay tuned for the rest of my series on at-home science demonstrations about atmospheric pressure.